How do you deal with burnout? In 2013, I burned out hard, really hard. It took more than a year to recover from that burnout. And then I burned out again in 2017, and it took another year to recover from that. I'm going to talk to you today about burnout and time off. My name is Tom. I run the Executive Career Accelerator, where we help mid-career professionals become executives. And today we're talking about burnout. When we work, we burn like a candle. Sometimes you have to burn the candle, quote unquote, at both ends. And sometimes you have to burn the candle at both ends and in the middle in order to get the flame that you need to do the work that's in front of you. Sometimes when we work really, really hard, we burn like magnesium, which burns up really bright, but really fast. And then if you burn it all down, you can burn out. So much about being a great leader is energy management. I tell a lot of my clients who are at or near burnout themselves, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you think about your energy reserve as a bucket of water, you work that bucket down all day, especially if you're working in a job or a role that's misaligned with your life purpose or your passion or the things that you're good at, and you're doing something that you're good at but you don't love doing. You pour more water from that bucket every day, and then you go home and you recharge and you do the things that help your mind relax, whether that's playing on your phone, watching TV, spending time with your kids, exercising, or binge drinking, or eating terrible food, whatever it is that you do to replenish yourself. If you're working outside of your zone of genius, you're eventually going to run out of water in that bucket, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't give when you don't have anything left to give. And that's what burnout is like. When you get to a place where you just can't do it anymore, you just can't think clearly, you don't want to do the work, it's better to have everything fall apart than it is to keep going forward in the way that you're moving forward. Burnout is a really dark place. And when you do burnout, it can take a long time to recover from it. So you really want to try to avoid getting into a burnout state. As I mentioned, I've burned out twice in my career. Both times it took me more than a year to recover. Beyond those burnout times, I also used to say to my wife all the time that, I wish I could just take 6 months off. If I could take 6 months away from my career, I might actually change my career and aim in the direction I want to. And I always wanted that 6-month sabbatical. Well, cancer decided to give me that 6-month sabbatical. It's funny, somewhere a monkey's paw curled and said, "Oh, you want 6 months off? Here's leukemia." And I just remember sitting there in the bed in the hospital thinking okay, well, I wanted 6 months off. Now I have it. If I survive. I did survive, thank goodness, but I also appreciated the time away from work that gave me, because it did help me reconnect with my life purpose, which is to teach leadership. And instead of selling the things that I sold in the industry in which I worked, now I'm helping leaders become great leaders. And that's exciting and energizing for me. I love what I do. I didn't used to love what I do, but now I do. And so my cup is overflowing. I can do so much more now because I'm working in my zone of genius than I could when I was doing a job that actually paid less, but also didn't really fulfill me. So what's my point here? You need to take breaks. If you don't take a break, your body may take a break for you. And if you don't really schedule out the time to be introspective and reflective about where you're going in your life, your body may decide to do that for you, just like mine did. Right now, I'm taking about a week, a month to recharge my energy levels. When this video is released, I'll be on vacation for the entire week. I'm pre-recording this video for that week, and I'm actually going to be gone doing something that has nothing to do with my work. Even though I love my work, I need separation from it from time to time so that I can re-engage my creative mind, so I can think strategically and critically about our lives, the future, other things beyond just the day-to-day of the work that I do. That disconnection and focus on something creative and fun that has nothing to do with work really helps me recharge all of my batteries and come back to it with a fresh perspective. This is really important, that you figure out what the cadence is that you need in terms of taking breaks, because most likely, if you're like most people, you're working way too hard and you're wearing yourself down. You're going to need to learn how to take breaks, even if that disrupts your career, because if you don't, your body will disrupt it for you. We're all wired to work really hard, and that's because we grew up in an education system that told us to work hard. The education system in the West really was designed for agrarian societies to learn how to farm and how to do factory-type tasks. We live in a more creative age now where it's about your thought ability, your thought leadership that matters, and you have to replenish your creativity from time to time. The only way to do that is to disconnect from the work that you're doing every day. And at some point in our career, working hard has diminishing returns. So I want you to think about burnout. I want to think about where you are on the scale towards burnout. Are you burned out? Are you almost burned out? Are you burning down? Are you energized and refreshed? Is your cup full or is it empty? I want you to think about that. If you are near or at burnout, you need to take time away, at least 2 weeks, maybe a month. And how you do that is you plan for that in advance. I have found time and again early in my career, we would go on a week-long vacation, and it wouldn't be until day 7 of 9 that I felt relaxed. And so really it was the last day of vacation that was the most relaxing for me. And then the very next day was the Sunday before going back to work, where I just had that Sunday night dread all over again. But the first 5-6 days of going on vacation, it was a process to wind my mind down. We need to do better at winding ourselves down and disconnecting entirely. So go to a beach and spend 2 weeks there, and don't bring your phone, don't bring your laptop, put it out of office in there. And if the company burns to the ground, so be it. You'll come back to a smoldering pile as opposed to working on your vacation. You have to disconnect, and that is the only way to avoid the burnout that's coming for you. And if you can't take long breaks in your job, you need a new job. You need to work for some place that will help you really work on and improve your mental health. You need to work in an environment that cherishes your strength and your energy and your time away from work and understands the importance of recharging our batteries and refilling our cup. Today's video is a little bit of a shorter one, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about burnout. I know some folks who are going through that right now. It is a process to get out of it. Take your time, get some rest, reflect on what it is that you really love in life. Do those things. Remember your passions, remember your joys. If you can't remember them, spend some time trying to reconnect with them. I hope this is helpful. I hope you have a great week. I hope you get a great vacation coming up here in spring, and I will see you in the next one.